directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Hey, we want to wish everybody a happy and healthy new year. I think 2025 is going to be an incredible year. And what better way to start off with our money management show, Provise Money Management Group. Good morning, Ray Ferrara.
Morning, Stephen, and good morning, Stephen, and Happy New Year to you and to all of our listening audience.
Same to you, and I guess you caught that Tampa game yesterday.
Absolutely, positively. It made me a little more nervous than I cared to be, and I am kind of a good news, bad news for the upcoming game with the Washington Commanders. I grew up, pardon the expression, as a Redskins fan, having been born in the and living in Maryland. I will be rooting for the Bucs, but just in case the Commanders do beat the Bucs, I'll still have a team to root for through the playoffs. So I'm going to win either way, but I hope it's the Bucs that prevail.
Absolutely, yeah. We here in South Florida, we had a major letdown. Not only did the 49ers lose, but we lost too. But my Dallas Cowboys are out of it, so I don't even care. Anyway,
well then, take a surrogate team like the Bucs.
Yes. Anyway, Ray, tell everybody about Provise Management Group.
Stephen, Provise is a financial planning firm first and foremost. There are lots of people who call themselves financial planners, but all they really are asset gatherers. They're not really doing comprehensive, integrated financial planning with people. We see investment management, retirement planning, education planning, estate planning, budgeting. All of those are a subset of the financial plan. And virtually all of our individual clients end up with some type of a financial plan at the beginning of their relationship with us, and then update it as we go along. We have offices in Clearwater and Tampa, Florida, but we have clients scattered over 30 states. We have approximately 1,100 clients and about $2 billion of assets under management as of the end of 2024. And we always offer a 1-hour complimentary consultation in our Tampa or Clearwater office or by Zoom, regardless of where you're located, in order for us to get to know each other and to find out if there's a way for us to help. And if we can't, maybe we can point you in the right direction. Let me also say that it's the beginning of the year. So what a wonderful time to start a new relationship with a firm like ours and to get the year started off really well. And if you would like to take advantage of that 1-hour complimentary consultation, just call our offices at 1-800-633-3049, 1-800-633-3049. Or you can go to our website at Provise, Provise.com, and send us an email from there. So please give us a call. Again, 800-633-3049.
Ray, I like reading between the lines. And, you know, you're a Florida company, but you have clients all over the world. And when that happens, that means there's people who are talking you up who've had great success with your company. And it's like a wildflower, it spreads throughout the United States. So, congratulations on that. And you're right, this is the first of the year, and things are changing so rapidly. How can you not have someone that knows this area not there to help you and hold your hand?
Well, just one small correction. We are throughout the United States, but we are not global. Our ability to do that work is limited to those that are here in the States. But maybe someday we'll conquer the universe.
I just think it's amazing that you have so many clients around the United States. That means that your local clients are very happy with you, and word spreads. Hey, let's get to business of the day. Thinking about last year, what can investors take away from the economy and the market?
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and clearly 2024 saw economic gain and market gain for a large, segment of our investors. The problem was it was kind of a tale of two cities. There were those that were invested in the market and they did very well. And there were those that were not invested in the market and in the economy itself. And unfortunately, they did well, but they didn't increase their net worth. But there were lots of jobs created, which gave people an opportunity to be consumers, which certainly boosted the market. But it was a tale of two cities. And really, to strengthen our economy, we need to make sure that a larger majority of people are beginning to invest into the economy and into the markets so that they too can enjoy some of the things that have occurred. The other is that no one at the beginning of last year of 2024, when we were doing this show, predicted that we would have another 20% plus year. Actually, the S&P 500 was up 25%. That's 2 years in a row. The big question today is can it happen again to be over 20%? And the answer is yes, it can happen, but it's unlikely to happen. It did happen in the late 90s during the dot-com bust, but we are not anticipating market growth at this point for the year that would come close to 20% plus. It would be wonderful, but in order to really get there, we need earnings out of the various corporations to be substantially higher than are currently projected. So probably in answering a couple other questions this morning, I'll say it again, but let me say it now. A good year this year would be something in the mid to high single digits in the market. To expect more than that probably is being too optimistic.
Hey, Ray, what happened to the Santa Claus rally?
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Well, Santa Claus didn't show up for the markets this year.
Yeah.
Traditionally, the time period following Christmas and leading into the first couple of days of January is referred to the Santa Claus rally. And traditionally, it is a time when people are selling stocks and repositioning portfolios and then buying others to set it up for the rest of the year, of the coming year. This year, there was a lot of activity, but there was more selling and less buying, in large part because the market is very close to its all-time high, which was set in early December. And so things were kind of, I guess the best way to describe it, were kind of flat. There was enough buying and selling to sort of support the market, but there was enough selling more than there was buying that we saw the market actually decline during those trading days that are referred to as the Santa Claus rally. So Santa doesn't come every year. I guess we were too naughty as investors this year, and so we didn't get any presents from Santa Claus.
Well, here's a question that everybody is kind of really wants to know. Where are we headed for 2025, Ray?
Well, 2025 at this point, Stephen, is a year of uncertainty. Uncertainty regarding employment. We're going to get big numbers coming out later this week that are very important. Our business is still hiring sufficiently. What is the new administration going to do on day one? The President-elect Trump during the campaign said, "I'll do all of these things by day one." Well, how much is he really going to be able to do after he is inaugurated and goes in and signs all of the presidential resolutions? Who is he going to put tariffs on? Tariffs can be effective as a strategy to force people to the negotiating table, perhaps. But make no mistake that tariffs are inflationary at some level. At some level, they are inflationary, and certainly they are negative for growth. And the last thing that a President Trump will want is slow down in growth. He needs the growth in the economy to support his own legacy. He needs the growth to support his tax cuts. He needs to have growth to lower the deficit of our country. He's not going to lower the debt. The only way to lower the debt is to have more income than we have expenses. That's not going to happen. But we can't continue with these $1.5 to $2 trillion deficits year after year after year. We've got to get that down below at least $1 trillion, given the size of our economy, and something closer to 500,000 to 600,000 would be nice. We don't know where the Department of Government Efficiency is going to cut, commonly referred to as DOGE, with Musk leading the charge there to find ways to make government more efficient. And really, what that ends up being is something that would be a way to say we might get rid of the consumer protection area. We might get rid of the Department of Education. But those, as big as those two bodies are, we're only talking, I know this sounds crazy, we're only talking about $300 million. It's certainly not going to come close to the $2 trillion that were talked about during the campaign and since the election was over. So with all of this uncertainty in the U.S., we then have to add the uncertainty that exists in the world. How is Russia going to respond? How is what's going to happen in Europe with the Ukraine, et cetera? So it's a year of uncertainty.
Well, I got to say that at least it was nice seeing the Congress come together. That normally does not happen on the Republican side. So I was glad it kind of took to the very last minute, but I was glad to see that. You don't sound very confident that DOGE is going to be able to come up with this $2 trillion.
Well, Stephen, the reality of it is that unless you're going to change what is referred to as mandatory spending, like Social Security, Medicare, all of those types of programs, it's going to be very difficult for them to, the 2 trillion is about everything that's left over after mandatory spending.
Right.
So I don't think that there's any politician, however, that wants to say he or she was responsible for raising taxes, which is really what unfortunately needs to be done if we really want to seriously cut into the deficit. That's why we are expecting in large measure that the president will get his tax bill through, and he will get it through in the first 3 or 4 months of the new administration. Every congressperson will stand up and say, I'm for cutting government spending, as long as, Stephen, we cut it in your district, but not in my district.
Yeah, right.
And so when you have 435 in the House and 100 in the Senate that are all thinking that same way, we'll cut everywhere but my area,
my district.
It's just not gonna happen. So again, it's the uncertainty. Will the Republican hardline caucus hold up legislation trying to cut spending even more drastically than is perhaps going to be proposed by the new administration? Now, all of this uncertainty leads to probably a very choppy, first 6 months of the year, and then we'll end up, maybe once things settle down, where we will see some growth in the markets, which is going to lead a lot of people to say, well, why don't I just get out of the market now and I'll get back in the summer, Ray, if that's right. Because that's our best guess, and that's what it is. Right. It's a guess. It's a as Yogi Berra said, it'd be easy to make predictions if it wasn't about the future. The best thing to do is to stay invested, because if the market's going to be up at the end of the year, which we believe it will be, lacking some geopolitical major event, then the best thing to do is to stay invested and not try to second guess the market.
We just got through a new year. So what is the best New Year's resolution for the vast majority of individuals, Ray?
Well, I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of people that have made a resolution to lose weight, which now with good chemicals is easier to do than it once was. A lot of people have said, I'm going to go back and start exercising and dieting. But why diet when you can eat all you want and take the drugs that will help you lose weight anyway?
Right.
But I'm sure they'll have all of those. But from a financial standpoint, I would say to folks, I would give different resolutions to different groups of people. Let me say, for the vast majority of people, they do not have a written financial plan. And if I were to encourage anybody to make a resolution at a very broad level, if you do not have a written financial plan, then create one. And the best way to do that is with a certified financial planner, a CFP, who has to act in your best interest as a consumer to help you write that plan. We all know that businesses that have a written financial plan have greater odds of success than those that don't have a plan. And the same is true with us at an individual level. Next, I would say to folks that have a very large estate, that you need to resolve having to watch very carefully what's going to happen with estate taxes in the coming year. At the end of this year, lacking any change, it will drop from about 14 million per person that passes tax-free to about half that amount, about 7 million. And so you need to be able to move quickly, but don't move now. Just watch, as we should have some clarity over the next 3 or 4 months, as it'll be part of the tax package. And then lastly, I would say that for those who are retired, look towards your cash flow. Try to resolve to line up that your fixed expenses, whatever they are, will be paid with regular predictable income, and that your variable expenses like vacations, maybe the purchase of a new car, etc., are paid for with variable dollars. That way, if things do go to heck in a handbasket at this year or at any point, you know that you have your lifestyle protected by having that fixed income to help you get through the bumps that will eventually occur in the market. The trees don't grow to the sky forever, and the market doesn't go up forever. We will have some bumps, and we are looking for a potential correction, a drop in the market of more than 10% sometime during the first 6 months this year. But I want to remind all of our listeners that that's a healthy thing in a good bull market to have those kinds of corrections. So don't panic if and when it does happen.
And finally, how do you know when to sell an investment, Ray?
Well, I like to say that the time to sell is when it's no longer time to buy. And from that, Stephen, what I mean is when we buy, let's talk about a stock for a moment, but it's true for any investment. We buy it in hopes that it's going to go up. And we buy something as cheaply as we can so that we get the maximum benefit. So if you buy a share of stock at $10 a share and it goes to $15 a share, many people wonder, well, should I sell or hold on or do I buy more? And the answer to that question is would you buy more at $15 a share? And if the answer is no, it's gone up too much. What you're really saying is that it doesn't have any more future value, and as much future value anyway. And therefore, you have to ask yourself, shouldn't I be selling if I'm saying to myself, I don't think it's got as much upside as it once did? On the other hand, if you say, oh yeah, I think this is going to be, continue to be gangbusters, then perhaps buy more if that's what you would like to do. The flip side of that is if you bought that stock and it goes down to 5, what most people say is as soon as this dog gets back to even, I'm going to sell it. Well, the real question is, did the markets make a mistake or did you make a mistake? And if you still believe that there's a lot of value in the stock, buy more of it at $5 a share. You're averaging down your price. But on the other hand, if it is a dog and if you did make a mistake, sell it, take the loss. You can use it to offset gains in other investments that you've made, and then put that $5 back to work into something in which you have more conviction. So think in terms of the time to sell is when you're no longer willing to buy, regardless of whether the stock has gone up or gone down.
Ray, we have a minute left, and tell people, first of all, how they can reach you.
The best way to reach us is to give us a call at 800-633-3049. That's 800-633-3049. Everybody's entitled to a complimentary 1-hour consultation in our Clearwater or Tampa office or by Zoom, whatever is most convenient for you. Let's get together. Let's get to know each other type of conversation. No obligation beyond that, and it's certainly complimentary. Or if you want to learn a little bit more about us, go to our website, provise.com. That's PROVISE.com. So 800-633-3049 or PROVISE.com.
And don't forget to join us on Inauguration Day for Ray's next show. It'll be on the 20th at 9 o'clock as always. Ray, we love having you on. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
That'd be great, Stephen. Have a great week and a great next couple of weeks. And hadn't thought about it being Inauguration Day, but I have a surprise for everybody on that day.
Okay. Thanks, Ray.
All right. Take care.
That's Ray Farrar, Provise Money Management Group. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.